You know what I hate? I hate how bitches act like it's not their fault that niggas operate a certain way when it comes to them. Bitches can attach whatever fucking niggas ain't shit stereotype they want to attach to any nigga. Even if it's a nigga they've never fucking met before in their life, a nigga that they don't even know. And that's all well and good. But when we turn the shit back on them, they act confused as a motherfucker. Bitches have made it very evident, very obvious, that a nigga has to be a certain height or they won't even look in their direction. But when a nigga conforms to that shit and they start letting motherfuckers know how tall they are because they know this is important information to a bitch, all of a sudden bitches act like they don't know what the fuck we doing. When they get on their little Tinder profile, their little online dating profile, I used to see this shit a lot. And bitches would get on there and say some shit like, I'm 5'7" since it matters. You goddamn right it matters, bitch. And it matters because you said it matters. You set this expectation. So now niggas is giving you the information that you want, and now you acting like you don't want the information no more. This is just another piece of ammunition that bitches think they got to try to make niggas look stupid. But if you think you making me look stupid, congratulations. Join the stupid party, because it's your goddamn fault that that shit is even being said in the first place. Think. Think. It ain't always the nigga that's stupid. Sometimes it's your dumb ass. Good evening, you fucking... Alright, man. I got some more shit to say. This video is dedicated to all the bitches. I'm sorry. No, my fault. I said I wasn't gonna call y'all bitches no more. That's my mistake. What I meant to say was, this video is dedicated to all the stupid bitches. We need to have a discussion. Because there is some shit that exists, and that has always existed, that motherfuckers love to try to act like there is absolutely no validity to. Don't know why, but motherfuckers do. There's only ever any kind of life given to this when it's on one side of the fence. When it's on the other side of the fence, we act like this shit means absolutely nothing. Because apparently it's not supposed to be valid when it's on this side of the fence. Only when it's on this side. And that is the idea of a man and his emotions. Ladies, how many of y'all have ever dealt with a dude who you either cut off or looked at completely differently because you came to find out he cares a little bit more about life than you expected him to? You know, whether y'all admit it or not, there's this arbitrary line that y'all draw when it comes to what you expect a guy to feel, what you consider valid and invalid when it comes to a guy and his emotional state, how far you will allow him to go as far as his emotions are concerned before you start looking at him like he's less of a man. If you ever stop to consider why the fuck you do that, what is it about a man feeling some shit that you feel like you're not supposed to be understanding of? When it comes to a female's emotional state, we expect females to be far more emotional than we are. Okay, fair enough. Females are much more likely to be emotional creatures than guys are. Completely understand that. But why is it that the entirety of a man's emotional being is invalid if he feels more than what you expected him to? We are all walking this planet, being subjected to life kicking us in the fucking mouth all day, every day, the same exact way as every single other person that we can lay eyes on. But for some reason or another, we decide who should feel and who shouldn't feel. Why? But for the average dude, we were always taught to believe that as guys, we're supposed to man up, suck it up, deal with it, stop bitching, be a man. So now, for our entire young life on into adulthood, we are programmed to believe that we ain't supposed to feel shit. So when it comes to trying to process our emotions, we tend to tuck that shit away, hide it, pretend the shit doesn't exist. And in doing so, we end up developing either unhealthy coping mechanisms, or we spend so much time pretending that shit is okay that we start to fuck up our own emotional state of being. Because if we don't, then we understand that there's a certain level of scrutiny that we're gonna come under from the general public, and we don't want to fucking hear that shit. So we just pretend everything's all good. I'm not doing that shit no more. I'm gonna let motherfuckers know exactly how I feel without becoming overly emotional. And if you don't know how to respond to that shit because as a man, you think I'm not supposed to feel a certain type of way, you can go and kill yourself. I'm not concerned with what the fuck you think I'm supposed to be doing with my feelings. You know, men are only allowed to care deeply about very select things. And more often than not, it's shit that females have already slated as things that is okay to care about. From our perspective, as if you've ever had to be a man a day in your fucking life. You think you get to tell me what I'm supposed to feel when it comes to the shit that I gotta deal with. That would be like me telling you what the fuck you supposed to feel when it comes to some shit that I will never have to come into the realm of dealing with ever in my fucking life. It's like me telling you what the fuck you supposed to do about your period pain. The fuck I look like? How ignorant would I sound? I don't even have nothing that I go through on a yearly basis, let alone a monthly basis, that comes anywhere close to the pains and the cramps of having a fucking menstrual cycle. So how am I gonna tell you how to feel about that shit? And if this shit don't apply to you, you shouldn't feel convicted. And if you do feel convicted, then this shit must fucking apply to you. You should be able to tell if I'm talking about you or not. And if I'm not, either look the other way, cut the fucking video off. As a guy, I can care about my mama, I can care about my family, I can care about whatever female I may be dealing with at the time. Being a provider, being a protector, my pride, my ego, my ability to man up, suck it up, be a man, all that other fuck shit that I said earlier, right? If my emotional state of being is not tied up in any of these things, or any of the other shit that somebody would deem okay for me to be emotional about, or for me to care about, it will be held against me. Because whatever it is that I'm doing, or however it is that I'm acting, is outside of the typical land of expectation of what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, how I'm supposed to feel. A motherfucker will penalize you for that. Even these typical things, even the shit that a female can't stand about a dude, namely his pride and his ego, because a lot of dudes' pride and ego makes them come off as real fucked up individuals. But even though females hate that shit, it's still valid because they expect it out of you. A bitch would much rather deal with a guy, or the type of guy that she's acclimated to dealing with, because at least she knows how to react and respond to that type of dude. Even though she hates it, she really loves to hate it, because having to get accustomed to another type of guy requires a level of awareness and a level of really ultimately accountability, responsibility, humility, modesty that the average bitch don't got. All the shit that she hates about that dude, for the most part, he lets her be whoever the fuck it is that she wants to be, whether it makes sense or not. She would much rather have that company than to have the company of a guy who dares her to be someone who makes some fucking sense. And this supports who the fuck she wants to be emotionally. Don't make no difference what the fuck I feel, as long as I exist to appease this simple bitch. You know, it's crazy how average women can demand so much out of guys, and they really expect us to conform to that shit. An average female can demand one of the greatest specimens to walk this planet, and she really has made up in her mind that she deserves this guy, even though she will never be anything better than mediocre. Because she surrounds herself with people who allow her to be that. But this guy has to be absolutely flawless in every aspect. We don't get that luxury, especially not if we step anywhere out of bounds as it pertains to what she expects out of our emotional state of being. You know, what I like to call fuck nigga behavior is automatically expected out of every guy that a female meets. Even if she don't fucking know you, she would still rather treat you like every nigga she's ever known that wasn't shit, because it's all she knows. So it's all she's ever conditioned herself to expect out of us. And even if we put something in front of her that is the complete opposite of what she expects and the complete opposite of what she is trying to force on us, this stigma of a bitch ass nigga that she's trying to force on us, even when we put something in front of her that she cannot deny, it's nothing like what she's trying to stick on us, she will continue to pretend that you are that nigga. And then she will create this fantasy world in her mind where you are the last nigga that fucked her over. You are the last nigga that put his hands on her. You the last nigga that treated her like shit. You the last nigga tried to force himself on her. You the last nigga that looked her in the face and said, I love you, and then treated her exactly like a nigga who does not love her. You the last nigga that broke her fucking heart. You losing already. You're fighting an uphill battle. As soon as she finds out that you exist, you have lost. She wants you to be a fuck nigga, so she's gonna treat you like one. And even after you prove to her that you're not that, you're still losing. Wanna know why? Because her emotions told her that you are every nigga that she can't stand. And you supposed to conform to that shit. And when you don't, she continues to lie to herself as if you are that guy. Tells me the average female doesn't know how to process her own emotions, but for some reason or another, so many of them think they're qualified to tell us what the fuck we're supposed to do with ours. And you wonder why every time you look up, you by your goddamn self. Every nigga that you've liked, you've pushed them as far out of your life as you possibly could. And you still bitch and complain about what you don't have. But you refuse to get yourself to an emotional state that will support you being able to keep around what the fuck you want. And anybody that doesn't allow you to be the type of person that you want, it's their fault. Never your fault. Always theirs. Anything that every person is expected to encounter just by existing is significantly diminished when you're a dude. Because as a dude, you're supposed to come with this innate ability to not give a fuck. Well, they want you to not give a fuck. Trust me, guys. Females want you to not give a fuck, but they want you to not give a fuck to the extent that they want you to not give a fuck. When it's convenient for them, they want you to care about everything under the fucking sun. Again, I'm talking about the average female right now. So if you feel convicted, shoe must fit, bitch. Slide that motherfucker on. Might would have gone click out this video, because all I'm gonna do is piss you off. And you should be able to tell by the look on my face that I do not give a fuck. You know, I wish there was some kind of a way to express to people how ridiculous they sound when they tell themselves how other people are supposed to feel. They've never thought as an individual long enough to understand that them going along with these typicalities of what most people feel about most other people, they don't realize how dumb they sound. They don't realize how little logic there is that lies in this shit that they have invested in. My emotions are not invalid. You expecting me not to have any is invalid. You expecting me not to find an effective way to process these emotions is invalid. When the fuck you gonna have that conversation? Even some shit that would completely uproot a nigga's life. Like, say for instance, losing his fucking job. That can really fuck a nigga shit up. And you could probably imagine what the fuck that would make him feel when this is the only job that he's had for years and he has absolutely no idea where to even go to look for another job that he might give a fuck about. But as a man, you are expected to get your ass up, get moving, and go find another job immediately because you don't have time to bitch about it. Woman lose her job, she can feel however the fuck she want to feel about it. And every nigga who is a nigga will crowd around this bitch and give her all the emotional support in the world, especially if it involves giving this hopeless bitch some dick. How you think that shit'll play out for a nigga? Girlfriend came home, whatever the fuck she is to him at the time, and she see this nigga in the room sulking because he just lost his fucking job, all emotional about it, or as you niggas love to say, in his feelings. How you think that shit'll play out? Babe, are you okay? This budget cuts, they got laid off. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, babe. Yeah, I've had this job 9 years. I mean, it's all I know, you know? Just I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, it's gonna be all right, you know? You'll find something else. Just stop crying. Bitch ass nigga. Don't worry, I won't leave you with a one-dimensional cutaway video. Let's see this shit from the other side of the fence. Hey, babe, I'm about... The fuck? Babe, what's wrong? You straight? I had to quit my job today because they're not able to give me any hours anymore. And I had to leave, but I didn't want to. I've been working there for like 4 months. And I love it so much, I had to leave. Damn, babe, I'm so sorry. Fuck. You want me to give you some dick? Look, man, you can act like this shit is fiction all you fucking want to. Look me in my motherfucking face and tell me you don't think that shit didn't happen somewhere on this planet. Somewhere. I ain't say both of these happened in the same house at the same, with the same motherfucking people. I'm just saying, this has happened on one side, and this has happened on the other side. You can lie to yourself all you fucking want to. World's a weird place. Look, all I'm saying, and I done spent a lot of time on this fucking video, but I really wanted to make sure that I hammered the fucking point home. Because a lot of motherfuckers needed to hear this shit. My manhood should never be called into question because of your unrealistic idea of what my emotional process should consist of. Never. And this obviously goes for both sides, man to woman and woman to man, but I'm making this video for the guys because when it comes to our emotional process and our emotional state of being, a lot of motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us. Don't give a fuck about what we feel. Because according to them, we ain't supposed to feel shit. And you wonder why motherfuckers be out here dealing with other females over you. There's more wife material in her than there will ever be in you because of shit like that. She give a fuck about how that nigga feel, what he going through in his life in general. The same way you expect a nigga to give a fuck about your life, she give a fuck about his. It's reciprocal. It's reciprocity in that motherfucker. Like it's supposed to be. Look, I know a girl that's cool as a motherfucker. I used to work with her, right? But I can't have an adult conversation with her because everything that she says is driven by emotion, which will be fine. But more often than not, the shit that she says makes absolutely no fucking sense. I'll give you an example of what the fuck I mean. And if she watching this motherfucking video and she feels some type of way about it, that's too goddamn bad. I remember we was at work one day, right? And I used to work at this place. We would have a meeting every day before we would start the shift, just so everybody knew what the fuck was going on. They knew what to expect. Everybody was all on one accord, right? The dining room that we would have the meeting in is in this one area. The hostess stand is like a good 15, 20 feet to the left of the room that we have in the meeting in. So even if you leave the room that the meeting is being held in, you can still hear everything that's going on, right? So I realized, you know what? I didn't look at the floor chart. I need to know where the fuck my section is so I can know what the fuck I need to be tending to when the goddamn shift starts. So while she's still talking, not the girl that's be on the stupid shit, the person who's actually, announcing all the shit during the meeting. The manager is announcing all the shit that we need to know during the meeting, the specials and all that shit. I say, you know what? Okay, cool. I can still hear her. Let me go look at the floor chart so I can see what the fuck my section is. I go over there. Old emotional ass nigga is up there at the hostess stand. I'm looking at the floor chart. Mind you, I'm gonna go up there, look at the floor chart, take my black ass back in the room, right back where the fuck I was. I can still hear what's going on, regardless. So I go over there, look at the floor chart. This emotional ass nigga gonna sit there and say some shit to me. This nigga talking about why did you just walk out of the meeting like that? Like, you kind of need to be in there. I said, I can still hear what's being said. She's right there. Like, the nigga's literally right there. Like, we can both hear her. Like, now I can't hear her because you're talking. And she says, well, I just think it's kind of rude that you just walked out of the meeting like that. I mean, she's just talking and you just walked out of the meeting. I said, again, she's right there. I can still hear her. Why are you so concerned about what I'm doing if I'm not bothering you? You know what this motherfucker said to me? Well, I'm not in the meeting, so. It gets to a point with grown people when they say shit that's so fucking stupid that you gotta let them have it. Because the only thing I could have came behind that and said was some very hurtful shit. You're already an emotional person, so I know the second I say what the fuck I want to say, your little feelings gonna be crushed. So instead of saying some shit, I just did what the fuck I came to do and then took my black ass back in the meeting as I'd already originally planned to do in the first place before this nigga started talking to me. What I really wanted to say was, I am in the fucking meeting, you jackass. So why the fuck are you holding me up from going back in the meeting? I came out here to look at the fucking floor chart and then take my black ass back in there. You're holding me up right now. Now, you're the reason why I'm not back in there as quick as I should have been because you want to say stupid shit to me. This could have been over with already. I didn't come over here for you. I came over here to look at this shit, see where the fuck I'm at, and then take my black ass back in there. I haven't missed nothing, just so you know, because despite the fact that you've been filling my ear with dumb shit for the past 15 seconds, I heard everything I needed to fucking hear. So I don't know why the fuck you talking. I don't know why you one of them people that feel like you have to be talking all the goddamn time, but you don't. You could have shut your motherfucking ass up a long goddamn time ago. Why the fuck is it that you feel the need to be saying shit all the goddamn time? I have no fucking idea. I could have missed some shit behind listening to your crazy ass talk. I'm cool. All you had to do was shut the fuck up. Moral of this goddamn story, reevaluate the shit that you think and think about whether or not it actually makes sense. Because it don't make no fucking sense for you to tell yourself that you care about somebody and then treat them like you don't give a fuck about them every chance you get. It don't make no sense for you to tell yourself that you care about somebody, but every chance you get, you invalidate what they feel based off the dumb shit that you've allowed yourself to believe. Just because you don't know how to respond to some shit does not make it invalid. Maybe you need to think about the way you look at shit. Think. Why the fuck somebody gotta tell you all this?